Okay, so what if I told you there was one guy, just one guy, who was his country's Shakespeare, its prime minister, and its most profound mystic, all at the same time? It sounds impossible, right? Well, let's dive into the extraordinary life of a true Renaissance man of Central Asia, Alisher Navoi. And this one quote from him, it tells you everything you need to know. This wasn't about personal insults for him. This was about a deep, unshakable sense of duty to his people. This was his core, his absolute driving force. So, how in the world do we even begin to unpack a figure this huge? Well, here's the plan. We're going to look at him as a thinker, a language warrior, a nation builder, and a spiritual guide. And trust me, every single one of these roles is as fascinating as the last. All right, so let's set the scene. We're in the 15th century, right in the heart of the Timurid Empire. And this place? It's a buzzing crossroads of culture, art, and science. It was a golden age, and Navai wasn't just some guy living through it. He was one of the key architects shaping it. So who was this man? We'll try to keep up because the list is long. He was the prime minister, the emir of one of the most powerful empires of his day. At the same time, he was the single greatest poet in his entire language. Oh, and he also funded massive public works projects out of his own pocket, explored deep spiritual truths as a Sufi mystic, and, this is so important, he was a fierce, fierce defender of his culture. But let's dig into that last part a little more. We need to talk about how he became a kind of revolutionary. You see, his work with language, it wasn't just some academic exercise. No, it was a powerful statement about identity, about pride, about who his people were. To really get what a big deal this was, you have to understand the context. In his world, if you wanted to be a serious writer, a serious poet, you wrote in Persian. Simple as that. It was the language of art, of the royal court, of prestige. His own native language, Turkic, was often looked down on, seen as less refined. Navai just flat out refused to accept that. So what did he do? He wrote this incredible work, The Trial of Two Languages. And in it, he didn't just argue that Turkic was as good as Persian. He argued it was better. He pointed to its massive vocabulary and its super precise verbs. Get this, the word borgadek doesn't just mean to go, it means to have the urge to go. That's a whole mood, a whole feeling, packed into one word. His argument was that Persian, for all its beauty, just couldn't match that kind of expressive power. And this quote? This is where you really feel it. This was personal for him. He saw his people, his language being pushed to the side, and he used his genius to fight back. He basically declared to the world that his mother tongue wasn't just worthy of poetry, it was made for it. But Navai didn't just work with words. Not even close. He was a man of action who had immense political power. But here's the thing. For him, power was never the point. It was just a tool he could use to serve the people. Take a look at this number, 50,000 dinars. In the 15th century, that is an absolutely astronomical amount of money. What could it possibly be for? It was the price of compassion. The Sultan wanted to hit the people of Herat with this crushing, totally unreasonable tax. Navai stepped in. He told the Sultan it was unjust. And then, to stop it from happening, he paid the entire amount himself, out of his own pocket. This wasn't just charity. This was a statement about what it means to lead. And his generosity was just everywhere. His legacy is literally carved in stone all across the region. He paid for schools, mosques, libraries, shrines, you name it. He wasn't just putting up buildings, he was building the very foundations of a thriving, educated, and spiritual society. So we've seen the poet and the prime minister, but what about the inner world of Alisher Navoi? Let's take a look at his life as a Sufi mystic, because his entire philosophy really centered on a single, incredibly powerful idea. And that idea is dunya. It's the Arabic word for the world. But for Navai, this word wasn't simple at all. It held two very different and very important meanings that pretty much shaped his entire way of thinking. And here's the crucial difference. On one hand, dunya is the physical world we live in. He saw it as a precious opportunity, a field where you plant the seeds of good deeds for what comes next. But on the other hand, it can mean worldliness, the chasing of wealth, status, and ego that just blinds you to what's really important. So Navai didn't reject the world. He just rejected being a slave to all its distractions. And he summed it all up with this beautiful metaphor. Life is a journey across a vast ocean. Your destination is the afterlife, and the only ship that can get you there safely is piety, your integrity. It's such a simple, elegant guide for how to live a meaningful life, right? So, when you put it all together, the poet, the statesman, the builder, the mystic, what is Navai's ultimate legacy? I mean, why are we still talking about this guy 6 centuries later? Well, to put it simply, he is living proof of the limitless potential of one human life. He showed the world that you don't have to choose. You don't have to be either a person of action or a person of deep thought. You can elevate a language, govern a nation with true compassion, and seek spiritual wisdom, all at the same time. He didn't just live in his culture, he became its culture. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. Navai's fight was for his language, for his people's cultural dignity. And yeah, 600 years have passed, but that struggle for identity, it feels more relevant now than ever. How can the story of one person from so long ago continue to be such a powerful symbol for millions of people today? That, right there, is the enduring power of his legacy.